Within the bounds of the city of Philadelphia lies a treasure. Its possession, in this day of speed and confusion, marks our city as unique in the whole nation, and its possession bears testimony to Philadelphia's love of beauty, God-made, which has not been allowed to spoil or be destroyed. Welcome to Keystone Curiosity, where we explore the life, land, and culture of my beloved home state. Pennsylvania has something to offer everyone, and is living proof that the world is a beautiful place. You just need to take the time to find it. Located 10 miles east of King of Prussia, Wissahickon Valley Park is one of the few remaining places in Philadelphia County to find the peace of the natural world. The original inhabitants of the area were the Lenape tribe, who would be forced out by European colonists throughout the 1600s and 1700s. The mostly German and English settlers would initially set up farms and residences, but mills and other industrial buildings would be seen establishing themselves along the creek as the colony, and later the state, began expanding westward. The unlevel ground made road building difficult. Because of this, in 1826, a couple of huge rock outcroppings where the Wissahickon Creek met the Schuylkill River had to be blasted away to allow for a narrow road to Center City. As more and more industries kept popping up in the area, a better way to transport products became necessary, a problem which the Wissahickon Turnpike Company sought to solve. Despite emptying into the Schuylkill River, the Wissahickon Creek was far too shallow to allow boats laden with goods to pass through the waters, and the ground was too uneven and windy to make railroad tracks a cost-effective option. Instead, the Turnpike Company made plans to build a better roadway and connect it to the existing Wissahickon Turnpike, which ended close to where the historic Rittenhouse town stands to this day. The construction took about 5 years to complete, and when it was done, they charged a small toll in the form of a token for passage. Oddly enough, the value of this has been lost to history, so nobody really knows how much that toll actually was. The Turnpike operated for about 10 or 12 years, during which the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania allowed the city of Philadelphia to encompass all of Philadelphia County so that it might protect its water sources. In 1867, the newly founded Philadelphia Fairmount Park would take over protection of the valley, and the following year, the city would purchase the Wissahickon Turnpike for $35,000. From then on, the Wissahickon Valley would experience a drastic change over the next few decades, going from an industrial area to a natural retreat and a beautiful park. As the park became more of a destination, inns like this one started popping up all over the place for weary travelers to take some rest. The industries that had previously established themselves were slowly closed down, and their lands were bought up by the Fairmount Park Commission. The reputation of the park would expand to international levels in 1876, when the city of Philadelphia hosted the Centennial International Exhibition in celebration of the signing of the Declaration of Independence. People from all over the world would come to the attractions along the now named Wissahickon Drive and enjoy a quiet trip through the park away from the bustle of the city. But that peace and quiet would end up being threatened by the invention of the automobile. As of the turn of the century, cars were banned from the upper portion of Wissahickon Drive due to dangerous curves and steep embankments. But multiple attempts were made to remove this ban, especially in the 1910s after Henry Ford had sold millions of his Model Ts. But these attempts would not go unnoticed by the locals, and many were determined not to give up the Wissahickon without a fight. In 1921, 13,000 people rallied in the valley to protest the paving of the road, as local equestrian groups like the Philadelphia Riders and Drivers Association rode their mounts and horse-drawn carriages down the Wissahickon Drive, gathering support for their cause. The protest worked, and in 1924, motorized vehicles would be forever banned from the entirety of Wissahickon Drive, which would thereafter become nicknamed Forbidden Drive. Now, I'm usually a bit of a stickler when it comes to outdoors activities, but for being as close to Philadelphia as this is, it's actually really gorgeous. While managed and funded by the Philadelphia Parks and Rec Department, much of the 1,800-acre Wissahickon Valley Park is cared for by the volunteers at the Friends of the Wissahickon organization. Officially partnered with the Parks and Rec Department, the Friends of the Wissahickon have been operating since 1924 to maintain the beauty of the park and deal with issues to the natural habitat, keeping in mind the park's original goal of protecting the water sources of Philadelphia. And those efforts have not gone unnoticed. In 2018, The Pennsylvania DCNR named Forbidden Drive the state's Trail of the Year, and before that, in 1964, the Wissahickon Valley was designated as a National Natural Landmark by the National Park Service. A designation well deserved. After spending a full day wandering a small fraction of the valley's over 50 miles of trails, I found myself completely enraptured in everything that the park had to offer. Now, if you've seen any of my other videos, then it should be relatively clear by now that I have a deep appreciation for the natural beauty throughout Pennsylvania, and just as much, if not more appreciation, for the history that has taken place within it. Very few places, if any, have had such a concentration of both, and the park does an excellent job at paying homage to its human past, while ensuring that there is still a paradise for generations to come. The Valley Green Inn, which was first founded in 1850, still operates as a restaurant and even hosts weddings and special events. Multiple stables can be found all across the park, offering boarding, and many hosting special events themselves, like the Wissahickon Day Parade, which celebrates the anniversary of the 1921 protest, with the oldest equestrian-only parade in the country. And above all, the Wissahickon Valley Park is, as it always has been, a natural retreat for the people of Philadelphia to find the peace and quiet that can only be granted by nature. The Wissahickon attracts people from all over southeast Pennsylvania, not just from Philadelphia. But with public transportation to the park at about 30 minutes or less from City Hall, there's really no excuse that any Philadelphian or visitor to the city should miss this amazing combination of both beauty and history. And in case you need me to remove any further excuses that you might conjure, I'll be including a bunch of links in the description down below for park maps, events, and even a few places that you can volunteer if you're the kind of person that likes to make a positive impact on the world. I always appreciate it when there's more people out there who try to maintain these rare one-of-a-kind treasures, especially throughout this day's age of speed and confusion. That's going to wrap it up for today's episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. As per the usual, if you have any suggestions of where you'd like to see me go next, feel free to leave them in the comments below. In the meantime, hit that like and subscribe so that you can receive notifications about anything else near Wissahickon Valley or all across the state of Pennsylvania itself. But in the meantime, you all have a good one.